There are 13 new community cases to report today. All are in the Auckland region. It takes our total number associated with this outbreak to 868. And of those, pleasingly, 264 cases have now recovered. There are 2 cases to return returnees in our managed isolation facilities. Today we have 30 unlinked cases as we continue to work through the new ones that came in, many of them first thing this morning, and links are being established. And of the 13 new cases today, over half have already had those links made to the current outbreak. On yesterday's 15 cases, we know that 12 of them are contacts of other cases, and 9 of these were household contacts. We also know that 6 were infectious in the community. There are 31 people in hospital today, all in the Auckland area, and of these, 5 are in intensive care or a high dependency unit, and 3 are currently requiring ventilation. Our thoughts remain with these people and their whānau in what is obviously a stressful time for them. Pleasingly, yesterday there were 17,684 tests processed across the motu and 8,472 swabs taken in the Auckland region. This is a further increase on yesterday and again is fundamental to us getting confidence that the outbreak is controlled.
I'm pleased today to be able to give you the latest information on our work securing early vaccine supplies, which will allow us to maintain but also build on the record levels of vaccinations we've seen since the outbreak began. As I mentioned earlier in the week, work has been going on behind the scenes with other countries for a couple of weeks now. Today I can announce the first part of that work. Last night we completed the final details of an agreement with Spain, which will see New Zealand receive over 250,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine, in addition to our scheduled deliveries. Those 250,000 doses departed Madrid at 1 a.m. New Zealand time and are due to arrive in Auckland tomorrow morning. I can tell you they are on track because I have been following the shipment's movements on Flight Tracker. With this supply, we will be able to continue our rollout at significant or even record high levels. This is the first of 2 deals that we have been working on. The second is an even larger order, and I anticipate being able to share details of it in the next week or so. I want to thank the Government of Spain, and in particular President Pedro Sánchez. I'd also like to acknowledge the Spanish and European Union officials, the team at Pfizer, and the team here in New Zealand who have all helped make it happen. They have been working around the clock, literally day and night. While I cannot go into details of our future arrangements just yet, what I can say for now is that with the assurance of these extra doses, we can keep going with speed until our big scheduled deliveries arrive in October. As you recall, we were actually really working hard to just bridge the constraint we had across the course of this month. As I said on Tuesday, on busy days since the current outbreak began, we've been vaccinating more people per capita than countries like the UK, the US, Australia and Canada did at the peak of their rollouts. In part, this is due to a determined and dedicated group of vaccinators working long days every day to keep our population safe, and I do want to thank those workers. But it's also thanks to the millions of New Zealanders who've showed up and done their bit for the team. It means that 89% of people aged 65 plus have been vaccinated with at least 1 dose, 89%. And 77% of those aged 40 plus have had at least 1 dose. And what I find really heartening, given we only opened up to everyone on the 1st of September, is that 64% of people aged 12 plus have had at least 1 dose. We do, however, want to keep going, which is why officials and agencies have been working so hard, as I've said, to secure doses that allow us to do that. But the rest is up to us. As I stand here today, Auckland is into its 4th long week of a level 4 lockdown. The rest of the country is having to adapt to a new Delta level 2 with tighter but necessary rules and limitations. These alert levels are gruelling and hard work, and I know we all want to avoid them in the future. And that's why we need everyone who can be to be vaccinated. High vaccine uptake is part of our path to opening back up confidently. I've been asked often, what is the magic number? How many of us need to be vaccinated? My answer is everyone. In part, that's because I hate the idea of even one preventable death. And with the vaccine, we know that the chances of someone's life being taken by COVID is dramatically reduced. But it's more than that. If everyone who can be vaccinated is vaccinated, you are potentially saving the life of someone who can't be. There have been many devastating stories in this outbreak, including the case of a 1-year-old child who fell ill with the virus. In fact, 121 of the New Zealanders who have tested positive in the last 3 weeks are under 9 years old. These are children who at this stage cannot be vaccinated, so they need us to be, all of us. In 2020, our COVID response led the world. In 2021, I want our vaccine rates to. So if you're a business owner who wants to avoid lockdown and you've already been vaccinated, there is more you can do. You can encourage and support your workforce to be vaccinated. If you're in a sports team and you've been vaccinated, there is more you can do. You can encourage all your teammates to get vaccinated. And if you're a vaccinated faith leader who wants your congregation to continue to be able to worship together, you can help support and enable that by supporting your congregation to be vaccinated as well. We now have enough vaccines to vaccinate everyone in New Zealand who is eligible at pace. So now it's up to us. If you haven't already been vaccinated, there are a range of places that you can be, including GP clinics, drive-through centres, marae-based centres, community pharmacies and Pacific providers. More primary care sites are coming on stream each day, along with more drive-throughs. Walk-ins or drive-throughs are welcome at the Auckland Airport Park and Ride and the Trust Arena in Henderson. The first in a series of Pacifica mass vaccination events started today in Auckland. Outside of Auckland, there is a drive-through at 223 Kiareroa Whangarei and walk-in clinics at Te Awa in Hamilton, Oratoa Clinic in Porirua and Pipitea Marae in Wellington and a number of other sites around the country. So to everyone, if you're not yet vaccinated, make a booking or drop into a site that allows walk-ins today. Let's see if we can top the tables. But more importantly, let's make sure we look after one another.